Hey everyone, Pastor KJ here, inviting you to a special presentation this Wednesday, May 27th. It's a video entitled, Who Are My Brethren? It comes from Matthew chapter 12, in the last part of that chapter, where Jesus' mother and brothers were outside and someone came and told him, and he said, who is my mother? Asked the question, I should say, who is my mother and who are my brethren? It's important for us to define ourselves as the blood-washed believers. Unfortunately, because of the dearth of leadership in our world today and the paucity of leadership that is spread wide. I mean, it's deep, and that's the dearth, and the paucity, it's spread wide. And because the lack of leadership is so wide, those outside of the church are now defining us. They're saying who we are and who we should be and who we should not. Scripture in Romans chapter 8 says the earnest expectation of the creature is waiting on the manifestation of the sons of God. Now are we the sons of God, and it does not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. We have the ministry of reconciliation. We have the ability to define ourselves. And so we haven't defined ourselves. And so therefore the world has grouped us all into this thing called Christians or evangelicals. And so we haven't defined ourselves. I have found that we are more concerned with our individual churches, and we're more concerned with, our positions and our titles and our authorities, that we haven't stood up and said, we are the blood-washed believers. And so those who are not blood-washed believers can stand up and say, yeah, I'm Christian too. And so now the outside world says, well, they're supposed to be a Christian, and what are you guys teaching them? It's time for us to stand up in the void. And right now is a very good time. In a place where leadership is lacking, where people cannot see what leadership is, this is a good time to stand up. There's two things I've learned in leadership. One is leadership is not recognized until you've had it and it's gone, or until you haven't had it and it shows up. And so leadership isn't recognized right away. And we need to stand up and say, they were not of us. It needs to be defined. The teaching comes from a letter written in an article written in Christianity Today back in December of 2019, and the resulting fallout from that letter. It's time for us to stand up and define ourselves as the blood-washed, as the believers, as those who are redeemed from the world. Those of us who not only believe, but we are baptized, we have risen up in the newness of life, and we are those that are holding up the bloodstained banner for the Lord. So listen, give me 30 minutes of your time, about 33 minutes of your time, I think it is. Give me 30 minutes of your time this Wednesday, May 27th, and join me as I talk about who are my brethren. I hope to see you then. Bless you.